You are a treasure, you are a gem, you are a special sparkle of life. You shine in your glory, you tell your own story. You are precious, you are unique. And now we sing saying, I am a treasure, I am a gem, I am a special sparkle of life. I shine in my glory, I tell my own story. I am precious, I am unique. Hello everybody, welcome to Treasure Time. Today I have with me
Katie, Yasmin, Gracie, David, and Kayla.
First we're going to sing the treasure song. We hope you can all sing along because this song is about you. You are a treasure, you are a gem, you are a special sparkle of life. You shine in your glory, you tell your own story. You are precious, you are unique. And now we sing saying, I am a treasure, I am a gem, I am a special sparkle of life. I shine in my glory, I tell my own story. I am precious, I am unique. Thank you. And this is called Treasure Time because reading is a time that we treasure. Reading stories with special people in our lives. Today we're going to be acting out the Elves and the Shoemaker. And first I'm going to read the story. So listen carefully. There was once a shoemaker who, through a spell of bad luck, had become very poor. Finally, he had just enough leather to make one pair of shoes. Still, it is a fine piece of leather, said his wife, as soft as butter and as strong as your hands. Tonight, dear wife, I will cut the leather, said the shoemaker, and first thing in the morning, I will sew the shoes. The next morning, when the couple went into the little workshop, they were flabbergasted by what they found. There on the work table stood 2 shoes, perfectly formed, and not a stitch out of place. But who? But how? Sputtered the shoemaker. His wife could only stare. Just then a dandy gentleman came into the shop. What magnificent shoes! Please, I must try them on. The shoes fit perfectly. It was as if they had been made just for him. He was so pleased that he paid double the price. Now the shoemaker had enough money for leather and 2 more pairs of shoes. Again, that evening, the shoemaker cut out the leather for the shoes and went to bed. And once again, in the morning, there were the shoes finished. Buyers were not lacking for these either, and as before, they were so pleased they paid double the price. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy leather for 4 more pairs of shoes. The next morning, just as before. There were the shoes, already made. On and on it went. Whatever the shoemaker cut out in the evening was finished by morning. Soon, news of the splendid shoes spread throughout the town, and the shoemaker and his wife were no longer poor. And here's a picture. One evening, not long before Christmas, as the shoemaker cut more leather for shoes, his wife spoke. "Dear husband, who has made us so rich? What if we were to stay up tonight and see who comes to our shop?" The shoemaker agreed. So that night they lit a small lamp in the hall behind their coats and waited. As the clock struck midnight, they heard the creak of a window and the scuttle of small feet. Peeking out from behind the coats, they saw two tiny children sneak into the workshop. They were poorly shod, and they wore only raggedy sacks for warmth. "Elves," the shoemaker's wife whispered. The tiny elves tiptoed across the room and climbed up onto the table. Then, humming and whistling, they began to stitch and sew and hammer so quickly with their little fingers that the shoemaker and his wife could not believe their eyes. The tiny elves tiptoed across the room and climbed up onto the table. Humming and whistling, they began to stitch and sew and hammer. The elves did not stop until all the shoes were finished and stood lined up on the table. Sturdy riding boots, delicate slippers, feather-light dancing shoes, and heavy clogs for work. Then the elves tiptoed out of the workshop, up the stairs, and out the window. The next morning the wife said, "The little elves have made us rich. We must give them something in return. They run around with so little on, they must be freezing. I will make a warm dress and coat and pants and knit them some stockings. And I shall be happy to make them each a pair of fine shoes," said the shoemaker. They went right to work, and that evening they laid the presents on the table. Then, like before, they hid behind the coats and waited. At midnight, the elves quickly slipped into the shop, ready for another night's work. But instead of pieces of leather, they found beautiful presents. At first they were too astonished to move. Then they hugged their new warm clothes and quickly put them on. When they were dressed, they leapt and bounced around the room, singing, "Now we're elves so fine to see. No longer cobblers we will be." They jumped over chairs and raced around the shop and finally ran out the door. The click and clap of their new shoes echoed through the streets. From that time on, the little elves were not seen again, but the shoemaker and his wife lived a long and happy life. And that is the story of the shoemaker and the elves.
Yay.
And now we will act it out.
Alas, dear wife, we are so poor that I only have one piece make shoes with.
Oh, what can we do, my dear husband? The butcher was so kind to give me one last bone for supper tonight, but I don't know what we'll do for tomorrow.
Well, let's just go to bed now and we'll deal with our destitute situation in the morning.
I'll just lay this last piece of leather
out for a final pair of shoes tomorrow.
The leather is so purple and shiny. I know you've been saving it for something special.
Good night.
Good night, dear. Maybe things will be better in the morning.
Yes, dear wife, we must believe in good luck and look at the bright side of life. Good night.
Is that okay? Here we come, here we go, softly on our tippy toe. We'll work hard all night long, in the morning we'll be gone. While they're sleeping in their bed, we brought our needle and our thread. We will work the whole night through. We are going to make a shoe. First there's one, then there's two, ready the next day for you. Here we come, here we go, softly on our tippy toe. We'll work.
It's cold in here. This is the last of the stove. This is the last of the coal for the stove. So I can make tea and warm the old porridge. At least my dear husband will be warm enough to work with that luscious leather he left on the bench last night. There's nothing like a good cup of hot tea to start the day. Thank you, dear. Maybe I can get those purple shoes done so someone will buy them and we can afford a little fuel and some food and some... What's this? Where did these come from?
These are gorgeous. How do you suppose they got here?
Little pair of shoes for my daughter. Would you have anything like that? How about this little pair of shoes right here? Those look great. She wears size 6. Well, these are size 6. Fine, I'll take them. Okay, here you are. Here's $50. They're worth every penny. Thanks! Come again. I sure will. Such a good cook. Those beans were delicious.
That little ham hock you managed to get from the butcher cost all the difference.
It's
It's good to feel full again. We'll be sleeping on full stomachs for the first time in months.
leather to make shoes with in the morning. I like the red suede leather.
Yes, it will make a pretty pair of little shoes for someone like you.
Wow.
And maybe perhaps someday I can make you a pair too. I also have some nice thick leather for some sturdy boots.
It's getting late and we have a busy day tomorrow. We better get ourselves into bed.
Here.
Here.
Here we go, softly on our tippy toe. We'll work hard all night long. In the morning we'll be gone. While they're sleeping in their bed, we brought our needle and our thread.
Here's $100. Thank you very, very much. Please come again. Goodbye. Dude, we'll be rich. Now we can. Soon we'll be rich.
I wonder who's been doing all this work for us. Let's stay up tonight and see who is.
Yes, maybe we should do that.
Let's hide behind the Christmas tree.
Good idea.
Here we go, softly on our tippy toe. We'll work hard all night long. In the morning we'll be gone. While they're sleeping in their bed, we brought our needle and our thread. We will work the whole night through. We are going to make
They only have rags. I must make them some clothes, and I will.
And I will make them some elf shoes.
When they go back. I've made them some beautiful clothes.
Okay, these are for you. Why? Because they're too many girls for him.
Now what do you say? I'm gonna lay them.
Let's lay them out on the bench tonight.
No, we can pick any serious places. No, these are two girls. We can pick any shoes.
It's almost time for them to come to
Just
hide
the
behind the
jacket.
Christmas tree again.
Just the jacket.
What are they?
Let's hide behind the Christmas tree again.
Here we go, softly on our tippy toe. We'll work hard all night long. In the morning we'll be gone. While they're sleeping in their bed, we brought our needle and our thread. We will work the whole night through. Oh, that is beautiful.
What so beautiful shoes!
Beautiful shoes.
I know, cobbler and white. Come on.
Beautiful shoes.
And
Thank you!
good. And Katie, can you say thank you?
Thank you, Mrs. Shoemaker.
Okay, I'll sit on the bench.
Let's go sit on the bench.
Sit on the bench. And go ahead, say your last lines.
And thank like you, little elves, you gave of yourselves to help us, and we want to give back to you. We are all rich in the spirit of giving.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. When we all help each other, life gets better for everybody.
And that's the end of our play. Just stand up and take a bow, everybody. Oh, what a beautiful dress. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. Giving a gift can simply be a thoughtful deed that comes from me. It needn't be fancy or cost a lot. What's most important is the thought. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. All that we do or think or say is meaningful in a giving way. An act of kindness, a thoughtful praise brings joy to another and brightens our days. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. That which is made by our very own hand. It needn't be flashy, it needn't be grand. But with the effort we do impart, the best gift of all comes from the heart. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. Merry Christmas, everybody.